Do you feel fulfilled in love? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. What if I told you that men are receiving and noticing way more about you than you've ever even realized? What if I also told you none of what they're noticing is at all physical? If that sounds wacky to you, don't worry. On today's show, we're going to be discussing 5 things women have no idea men notice about them. That way you can be hyper self-aware as to the sensitive information that the men you're dating are receiving from you. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. How are all you beautiful people doing here today? Welcome. See, we got over in the TikTok chat, we got Valerie, we got Zyra, we got Mel, we got Elizabeth, Joanna, we got Pink, we got Aset, we got Mark, we got Reese, we got Sarah. Welcome all you beautiful people. And we got our 3 moderators here, the triple threat. We got SH here, one of our amazing moderators, Scotty here, one of our amazing moderators in the TikTok chat. And we, of course, have Charisse here as one of our amazing moderators in our TikTok chat. Who we got over in the YouTube chat? Let me scroll up for you guys in the YouTube chat. We got Amal, one of our amazing channel members. Ivy, another one of our amazing channel members. Henya is here, our amazing channel member. I want to shout out all the time. Tracy now is one of our amazing channel members. We got Nicole T. We got Jazz is here as well. Do we got our Nicole channel member who's here? I want to see if we got Nicole here. Okay, and of course we got the most amazing Missy America holding us down in the YouTube chat as our moderator there. Welcome all you beautiful souls. Good to see you. Good to spend this time with you. And we are gonna get this started here, all right? So let's hop into number 1, okay? I hope this will be quite the realization, because while men do notice your dump truck, and they do notice your yitties, of course, I won't pretend like they never do, they do also notice a lot of things which are more spiritual, emotional, and of the soul, okay? So we're gonna talk about some of those things, all right? All right, chat. So first things first, let's discuss emotional control. Now, here's the thing that you have to notice when you start dating men. See, they're always going to be gauging what type of woman you are. I think we've had a show on how men categorize women. I might have to update that. But remember, in order for men to properly categorize you, unfortunately, okay, that's the reality of it, in order for them to properly categorize you, they have to be taking notice of qualities and character traits about you in order to put you in any one of those particular categories. So in the process of one of the things that they're noticing and taking notice of and receiving from you is your emotional control. Now, I'm not talking about emotional control on whether or not you're sad or angry all the time or anything like that. I'm talking about emotional control that even when you are upset about something, and specifically when you're upset at something that he did, that you don't allow your emotions to control you to the point where you start either acting irrational, you go crazy, you start burning his Jordans, or you lose it completely. Are you following what I'm saying? So let me give you a more clear visual, as I always love to do, and then I'm going to explain more in depth and break this down for you a whole lot more so that we can all absorb this concept, okay? So let's imagine we have a whole bunch of buttons, okay? And down here we have you. Your head's kind of big, all right? You have a large head, all right? We have you here with your big, beautiful eyes, right? And your big, beautiful smile, okay? And we have your triangle body. I wish I could draw an hourglass body, but today it's triangle, all right? And we have your little arms there, okay? You don't do arms at the gym. Now, I want us to put in each of these individual buttons, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a different part of your body here, okay? So in this button here, we're gonna put in your arms, okay? Now in this button here, we're gonna put in, oops, write that properly. In this one here, we're gonna put in your legs, all right? And in this one here, let's just say we'll put in your dump truck, just for fun, okay? We're gonna have a little fun today. Now, in all of these different buttons that can be pushed here, I want you, in all seriousness, to understand this concept. Let's imagine that each one of these buttons can control this individual part of you, okay? So if someone were to push this arms button here, it will move your arms in any way, shape, or form and get you to twitch in ways that are uncontrollable to you. If someone pushes this legs button, your legs are going to flare out. You're going to do things with your legs that you have no control over. And if someone pushes that dump truck button, you're going to start twerking uncontrollably as if you're sexy red, okay? So all of these different individual buttons have that control over your body, that corresponding body part. Now, what I want you to understand is in your relationships, when men identify that you are someone with very little emotional control, meaning the smallest little thing can trigger you and send you down a spiral, acting like a maniac, right? You might think, oh, that's cute. Oh, guys love that. Guys love them a crazy girl. But as guys are discovering that about you and discovering how easy it is that you are a hair trigger to push your buttons, they realize that with that amount of power, they can actually use that to their advantage to extract things from you in different ways. So in this example here, if all of these individual buttons control your arms and your legs and your dump truck, essentially I can use these buttons strategically and get you to move and do something that I want you to do. And remember, in this example, in this visual here, you don't have control over these buttons. Me or someone on the outside has control over each one of these buttons. But as they get pushed, you react correspondingly, right? And so I say that to say this is like a visual of what's happening when men realize how little emotional control you have over yourself, that anything that they do can trigger you to the point where you start losing it. Because if you lose it, now I know if I want to get something out of you, if I want to get you desperate, if I want to starve you of validation, if I want to put you in a position where you need me, and I can control you and have access to these buttons, now I can get anything I want out of you without giving you anything in return. I get the ultimate power. And then you find yourself in a relationship or in a situationship where the guy you're dating is giving you nothing. And simultaneously, you feel stuck because you don't feel like you can get yourself out of this situation. Similarly, if I have control over each one of these buttons and I can control your body movements, your dump truck, I can control whatever you do, now you have no way of controlling yourself, of doing anything that you want to do, standing up for yourself, because I'm the one that's capable of pushing those buttons. So when the guys are meeting you that you're dating, they're actually in the process of getting to know you, understanding if you have that hair trigger, if you have that little amount of emotional control, that they can then take advantage of that and begin to control you. And some of the ways that men will do that is, let's just say for the sake of example, a guy you just started dating, you realize that he's still on the dating apps and he's messaging other girls on the dating apps. So you go out on your date and you freak out. You say, oh my God, I can't believe you're messaging other girls on this dating app. Now that you've met me, don't you want to be with me and be with me alone? And you should have deleted the dating app by now. And you lose your mind on this date when you realize this. Now, what he's receiving from you is, oh, I see how easily your buttons are pushed. Nothing wrong with being upset, but I see that you will spiral at the smallest thing or the smallest inconvenience. I also know that when it comes to me, you're so bothered, right, that you will lose your mind and you will act on the fact that your emotions are all out of whack. Now I recognize that in my actions have a lot of emotional control over you. I can throw you for a loop. I can send you in a spiral. But you know what also happens with these men? They realize that when they have that level of emotional control over you to send you down in the dumps, they also have the level of emotional control over you that they can take you over the moon. So they strategically push these buttons as they need to get a response and reaction out of you. So you know what the same guy who sees you freaking out on that first date or that second date that you're still on Hinge or still on Tinder and you lose your that he's still on Hinge or Tinder and you lose your mind. You know what he does after that? When he starts acting wrong, okay, and acting out, and let's say you guys go no contact, he knows exactly what buttons of yours to push to get you to break no contact and reach out to him. Anytime you want to stand up for yourself in the relationship and say, no, I deserve better, I deserve more, I'm done with you, I'm breaking up with you, he knows exactly what buttons to push to make you say, okay, I'll give you one more chance. Are you following me now? Does that make a little bit more sense to you now? And so these buttons that men can push become a very powerful way for them to control you without actually forcing you to do anything. Just by understanding that they can make you feel really good and they can make you feel really bad, which is why it's so important to steal these buttons back from the men that you're dating and take them back for yourself, so that these men don't have access to these buttons and they can't push them. You want to take them back for yourself by having your own happiness, by having your own hobbies and having your own focuses that keep you level and grounded, so that the men don't have access to the buttons that they can push to take you over the moon and put you down in the dumps. So this is one of the things that men are noticing about you, okay? Let's hop into our next point here, okay? Does that make sense to all of you so far? I hope it does, right? Let's do point number 2, okay? Now, point number 2 is an interesting one. The reason that self-esteem is so important here, I'm just make sure I get the notes right. So self-esteem is really important because self-esteem represents confidence. And the thing is, self-esteem, because it represents confidence, that can also tell men a lot about what you think of yourself and what you think you deserve. So let's break this down a little bit more, okay? So if I see that your confidence is up, right? Then I assume you believe okay? So if I am a guy and I'm taking notice of your self-esteem, right? And your confidence in yourself, I now know that because you have confidence, you now inherently believe you deserve more. Because your confidence comes from the fact that you believe in you. You believe that you're amazing. You believe that you're awesome. You believe you bring a lot to the table. And you're confident in your belief in yourself, which is why you then in turn believe that you deserve more. So men are taking notice of the women with confidence and the women who lack confidence, because that is a direct correlation with the women who believe they deserve more and vice versa, right? Obviously, if we're doing it this way. Okay, so if a man sees you have very little confidence, then he also understands that you inherently believe you deserve less. And remember what I always tell you, men aren't evil, but they are opportunists. So if I'm a man and I'm meeting girls and gauging what their level of self-esteem is, gauging what they think about themselves and their level of confidence, and I know that the girls with high confidence believe they deserve more, and the girls with low confidence believe they deserve less, and I'm an opportunistic man, meaning I want to get the most amount, right? I want to receive the most without giving anything, right? Then I'm obviously going to be shooting for and trying to obtain as many low confidence women as I possibly can. Why? Because all of those low confidence women believe that they deserve less, okay? And some of you might be thinking, Tomisin, I think that the men that I'm dating are probably just looking at my dump truck. They're probably just looking at my yitties. They want to see me walk away and they want to see me bent over. They're not interested in my level of self-esteem. They're not even that sophisticated to be thinking about that. Let me ask you a question, okay? And I want all of you to participate and answer this question for me. If you were at a party, at a house party, and you were, in fact, let's draw this out, okay? I want us to draw this out and then you respond. So everyone get your keyboards out because we are going to discuss this and I want us to be of the same understanding, okay? Right? So imagine these two scenarios here, okay? One in which you're at a party this is going to be funny. You guys are going to love this, okay? I want to draw this right for you guys. All right. My drawing skills getting better. So let's imagine at a party, right, that there's two guys. And at this party, there are two guys here. And one of these guys, we'll describe him as one of these guys we'll describe as the life of the party. Now, the reason I drew him like this is because I want us to get an understanding of how we are capable of looking past physical traits to see what's inside. So I just want us to break this down a little bit. Tell me, those of you who are here and participating in the chat, let me know, would you be able to tell if this guy was surrounded by a bunch of people, he had his shoulders out, he was laughing, he was giggling, and he was conversating with people. Even if you didn't meet this guy, do you think you could get a sense of what he thinks about himself and whether or not he has low or high self-esteem? Okay? And if you think you know, tell me in the chat, what level of self-esteem do you think this guy has who has a whole bunch of people surrounding him and he's chatting with everyone, laughing and giggling? Do you think this man, number one over here, has high self-esteem, or do you think he would have very low self-esteem? Okay? Tell me in the chat. I want everyone to participate. You think the guy who's surrounded by a whole bunch of people would have high self-esteem or low self-esteem? That's the life of the party. He's walking around, he's laughing, he's giggling, he's dapping everyone up. He's standing on the table. People are talking to him. Everyone's coming up to him. He seems like a very outgoing person, okay? So I want everyone to respond, okay? Everyone's got to participate, all right? Now, I want us to compare this, okay? Right? I'm going to ask you that. Now, I want you to compare this with this person here, okay, who's got a drink in their hand. Let me just put a drink in his hand, okay? He's got a little drink in his hand. And he's here, and nobody is around him. He's in the corner, right? Let's say okay, so let's say guy number two here below, let's say he's in the corner by himself with a drink in his hand. He's looking away, not giving anyone eye contact, and he's very nervous. Now let's compare this with the guy who's the life of the party. Let's say this is guy number one, and this is guy below is guy number two, Who do you think of these two guys has higher self-esteem? Do you think guy number one, who's the life of the party, has higher self-esteem? Or do you think guy number two, whose shoulders are slouched, who's looking away and looks very nervous, has high self-esteem? Let me know in the chat. You're either going to say one or you're going to say two. Which one do you think has higher self-esteem? You obviously haven't met either of these guys and you don't know anything about either of these guys, but just simply based on what you see of them going around in this party, who do you think has the higher level of self-esteem? Okay. Now I see the TikTok chat, YouTube chat. You guys are slow, and you guys don't participate. Okay. Now TikTok chat, you guys are correct. I see a lot of people saying number one. Obviously, most of us, unless you have a tough time gauging energy, would assume that the person who's the life of the party, who's yelling, screaming, outgoing, right, has a higher level of self-esteem than the person who's sitting in the corner, shoulders slouched, right, looking away, doesn't want to have eye contact with anyone, doesn't want to talk to anyone, looks very nervous, who is like sweating, okay? And the reason I say that and give you guys this example is because if you're saying that you can simply go to a party and you can tell the difference between someone who has higher self-esteem versus someone who has lower self-esteem, then that should tell you that it's possible to receive that and notice that without even talking to someone. So it's definitely possible for the men as well to meet you and notice that about you in being able to have even more context and have conversation with you and hear you talk about yourself and your life and your friendships and your past relationships. They're also taking notice of whether or not you have high self-esteem or low self-esteem. And like I mentioned before, when they realize that you have lower self-esteem, that means you have lower self-confidence. If you have less self-confidence, then they understand that you believe you deserve less. And so what do? They start giving you less because they know you're not even going to fight back against that. They know you're already convinced that you deserve very little. So what do? They give you very little. Okay. So does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? YouTube chat, you guys got to catch up to the TikTok chat. They're fast, they're quick, and they participate, okay? Sometimes YouTube chat, you guys be more active, but today it is the TikTok chat. I won't lie to you guys. TikTok chat, give yourself a round of applause. All right, so let's hop into number 3, all right? Now, number 3 is something that I'm sure some of you have noticed before, okay? All right, so men are always taking notice of whether you're naive or not, okay? Now, obviously, not all of these are meant to be because the men want to take advantage of you or do you dirty or anything like that. But you have to understand there are men that will come into your life unprepared to be your husband, to grow a relationship with you, or just in general having ulterior motives. So you have to understand if men are coming in and out of your life with ulterior motives, they're all gauging whether they're able to, get away with those motives or if they're going to be able to accomplish their goal or ulterior motive with you. Because some women that they meet, it will not be possible to accomplish that ulterior motive. And this is why the men are actually gauging this, throughout all of their relationships with all the women that they're meeting. Because if they're ever going to be able to get off what they're trying to get off, whatever play it is, whether it be sleeping with you, whether it be wifing you, whether it be just messing around with you, whether it be making you a placeholder, whatever it may be, they're going to have to gauge if you're even the type of person that they can get away with that with, okay? Or accomplish that with, whichever one, okay? So I want us to imagine something as it relates to being naive or not, because the men want to know if you're naive and I have a lifestyle that I want to live, and I have a philosophy that I want to live by. But most confident women, most secure women, most intelligent women can anticipate what I'm trying to do here, or are a couple steps ahead of me, or are experienced enough in relationships that they know this only leads to a bad place. They won't fall for my philosophies or my ways of explaining things to make them sound better so that you believe in this thing. Let me give you an example of what I mean. So, for example, let's just say a guy's like, oh, I just think open relationships are so amazing. And when you really break it down, I was watching this show. It was like it was like Dr. Phil. And when you really break it down and you think about how monogamy hurts and pains the soul, you realize that we were meant to connect with the world. And we were meant to connect with everyone. And we were supposed to, like, I think I read it in the Bible somewhere, or it was the Quran. I can't remember which one. And when I read it, it was like, we're supposed to embrace each other and hump each other. And when we do that and we feel each other's warm bodies, it just puts us closer to God. Yeah. I was reading that somewhere in the Quran or the Bible. Yeah. And this is the thing. See, when the men realize that you're naive, they realize they can get that type of stuff off on you. You'll believe in it and you'll be like, oh, I think I read that quote in the Quran too. Yeah. Right? Because you just believe, well, he must have good intentions. He must be a good man. So what he's saying sounds believable. I guess, open relationships is the way to go. Then you get into an open relationship with him and now he has 3 wives and you're sitting there like, wait, I didn't realize I was going to be your 15th girlfriend and I was going to be sharing time and a bed with other women. Okay? But it happens because you're unaware of the fact that people will come into your life with ulterior motives and you can't anticipate plays that people are trying to play on you. So let me give you a little bit more of an analogy and a visual so you can kind of understand how this happens in theory and why this happens, okay? So let's just say you're on the street here, okay? And while you're on the street, let's say you're here and you meet a we draw his hey, he's a goofy, okay? Don't worry about it. He's a goofy guy. Goofy goober. Right? You meet a rich man on the street, okay? Rich man. Now, this rich man that you meet on the street, he sees you drop, let's just say, your deodorant stick, all right? So you drop your deodorant stick on the floor. And when he sees your deodorant stick, let's just say he says, oh my God, is that the, oh my God, is that the brand new Dove? Oh my God. And you're like, what? It's a deodorant stick. What are you talking about? I just went to the gym. It's my deodorant stick. He's like, no. That's the deodorant stick I've been looking for forever. It's sold out of stores. I can't find it anywhere. And you're looking at it like, this is literally women's Dove. It's lavender. You can get it anywhere. And he's like, no. I promise you, the edition that you have is a special edition. I've never seen that deodorant ever before. I've never seen this one before. Never, ever in my life. And he says, please, I don't care if it's used. I will pay you $1,000, okay? He says, I'll pay you $1,000. Why did I draw that like that? $1,000 for your deodorant stick. I need it. I can't find it anywhere. I've been looking for it for years. And you're like, I've used this on my arm. I used this at the gym this morning while I did squats. Sweaty. My armpit and my DNA is on there. You want $1,000 so that he's like, please, I need it. I need your deodorant stick, please. Can we make it $2,000 if you don't want to sell it to me? I'll take $2,000, please. And you're like, okay, sure. Take my deodorant, sure. And then you're like, well, I got some gym shoes too, if you're kind of into that type of stuff. And he's like, oh, what type of gym shoes you got? These brand new Nikes, the ones that are pink and give you superpowers. You'll be able to jump out of the gym with these ones. And he's like, oh, those Nikes? Oh, I seen someone. I think I seen The Rock wearing those ones. I think I saw him wearing those ones. I will pay you $20,000 for those Nikes, please. I want to pay you for those Nikes, please. I want those Nikes so bad. And you're like, oh my God, is this guy serious? Do you have it in cash? I have it in cash right here, $20,000 for those Nikes. And you're like, oh, yeah, sure. And you take the shoes off your feet, you give it to him. And you're like, by the way, I have this gym towel too, brand new. It's like this new type of cotton that, hasn't been, it's like from the factory, brand new. It's very weird, very strange. It does something to your body. And you just start thinking to yourself, how much can I sell him on? Because he's rich, he's got money, and he'll believe anything, okay? I just sold him a pair of shoes for $20,000, and I sold him my used deodorant stick for $2,000. You're like, I'm hitting a crazy lick today for nothing. And the reason that I bring up this example here, I know it sounds a little bit silly, but this is actually what the men are doing with you and why they're taking notice of whether you're naive or not. Because they want to know, can I sell you on anything? Can I give you any story? Right? I come back at 4 a.m. Let me give you a story like, yeah, me and the boys, I fell asleep at my boy's place. Oh, the girl I'm messaging, I'm not meeting up with her. I'm just messaging her because we share a friend group and we're supposed to go out to this one place in this one spot. Oh, no, that's just my best friend forever. We've known each other since we were young, and sometimes we sleep in the same bed, and sometimes we cuddle, and sometimes she jokes around about slurping me off. It's just a joke, though. And it becomes very easy for men when you're naive, when you're green, as the kids say as well, right? When you're green, you're naive, you're new, you don't know what's going on. They say, oh, perfect. I can sell you on anything. Make up any story and get you to believe in it. And what does that translate to? That translates to control. Because once again, he gets to receive what he wants from you in the relationship while giving very little. Okay? I know it sounds malicious, but you have to understand men come into relationships with motives, both good motives and bad motives, depending on the man you meet. And when you meet him, he might have great motives or he might have horrible motives. And you have to understand that men are picking up what you're putting down, and they're also receiving a lot of information from you in the process of getting to know you, which is precisely why you'll have the same man treat one woman very differently than they'll treat another woman. You'll have that same man treat one woman horribly, right? And she'll have a horrible experience with him, begging him to do the bare minimum. Meanwhile, that same man will turn around and literally worship the ground that another girl walks on that barely pays him attention, and you'll be wondering why, right? And this is what happens. See, the men are always gauging what they can get away with. And so in turn, because they're trying to gauge what they can get away with, they're gauging you, what your personality is like, what your energy is like, what level of naivete you have or not, right? And they're trying to see what they can get off in this situation with you. I know it sounds malicious, but you just have to understand people are opportunists, but in this case, the men are also opportunists. They would love to be in a situation where they receive and they give nothing in return, okay? So let's go into our next one. I hope that makes sense to you guys, right? Selling used deodorant is pretty funny. Let's go into our next point here, right? So, number 4. Let's talk about this. Okay. Wanted to make sure I did the right point. All right. So, one of the things that you want to take notice of, because the men are gauging this, believe me, they are gauging this. They want to know the answer to this. They want to know if you are out of their league. Now, this can compound in gauging your self-esteem and your confidence. But see, the reason that they're gauging whether or not you're out of his league, see, if he knows that he wants you, he needs to gauge his own, see, we have a thing, social status, but he also is gauging his overall desirability as a man versus your overall desirability as a woman. Now, obviously, there's multiple factors that go into your desirability, and for men and women, they're different, okay? So factoring in being rich as a woman might not necessarily have the same level of value as being beautiful, okay? I'm just giving a basic thing. Versus men, being beautiful might not necessarily have the same impact or value as a man than being rich, all right? Like, I'm just breaking it down very simply for you. So the reason I say that is because men are gauging, obviously not just your looks, but who you are as a person, how you carry yourself, to overall get an understanding of if you are out of his league or not. Even if he has the intention of building with you and putting his best foot forward in the relationship, he still has to gauge if you're out of his league. Because if you are out of his league, then he knows I really have to put my best foot forward. Because if I don't, I won't get access to the girl who's already out of my league. See, guys aren't dumb. A little bit emotionally stunted, but they're not dumb. They know when they're shooting up. They also know when they're shooting right at their level, and they also know when they're shooting down, okay? Right? And the reason for that is because they have to understand and be able and be capable of gauging that to know how much they should give or how much they should not give, right? They're always trying to see, do I need to put more into this and into this woman, or can I get by with less? Okay, it's like an efficiency thing. They want to make sure they're giving just enough energy out to receive back what they're looking for, even if it's to wife you and be in a relationship with you. Because being with a woman who is not out of my league doesn't require as much energy and focus and care as it does to be with a woman who's out of my league that could get any of these men. Okay, so let's break this down in a visual. All right, so let's imagine here two scenarios. And you are here. Okay, we're just going to draw you as a circle. I'm going to draw a lot here. And let's have a second scenario of you being here. Now, let's look at this for a second and kind of break this down, because this is very interesting. See, the men are gauging if you're out of the league, if you're out of his league. Now, obviously, I mentioned to you guys that they're gauging this because they're trying to understand, do I need to put my best foot forward, or is it not necessary for me to put my best foot forward? And see, one of the interesting things about you being out of his league inherently means that you have more options, okay? And if you have more options, simply because of the fact that you can only choose one man and you're only one beautiful, amazing woman, you literally have to narrow down these options. Because if you're out of his league, and that means all the men want you and you're a very desirable woman. And if all the men want you, you literally have to X out a whole bunch of men in order to pick one. Okay, and so being out of his league is a function of also how much options do you really have? Why do men want to know that? Because if you're here with a whole bunch of options and you have to narrow down these options to choose only one man, you're going to start saying, look, I gotta chop some of you off the chopping block here. I can't keep all of you in my life. I know you all want me. I can't keep all of you in my life. So we're going to have to start getting very good at just chipping people away for whatever. Okay? If you got a crooked smile, you X'd out. All right? I don't know what to tell you. If you ain't plus 6 foot, you X'd out. I don't know what to tell you, because we got to chop some people out of here. All right. If you don't have more than 100K in the bank account, you X'd out, buddy. I don't know what to tell you, because I can only choose one. All right. If you can't give me princess treatment, buddy, you're getting next out here. I gotta narrow this down until you get down to one guy who is the guy that you're going to be picking and choosing because he fits all. After you've X'd out all of these other men through the process of elimination, you finally found one that is actually the one that you're looking for. Now, vice versa, unfortunately, vice versa, if you only have two options here, you're going to say, I like men that are funny and tall and good looking. And then they're both looking at each other like neither of us are tall. We're both 5'6". Okay. We're both ugly. And we're both broke. So you're sitting there like, I guess I'll take the guy who's 5'7.5" with slightly less crooked teeth. I guess. Sure, me and you match. Okay? And see, that's the problem. Because when he gauges that you're not out of his league, in fact, you're a little bit below him, he also gauges you probably don't have that many options. Which means, right? See, up here, your standards inherently have to be high in order for you to even exist up here, being out of his league, or to be able to function up here. Your standards have to be high because you literally have to eliminate men. You have to. There's too many men. You have to. And here, you don't have to have high standards because there's no process of elimination. There's only two guys that want you. So it really doesn't matter to you what they have to offer you. You just want someone to love you, okay? Which you should never be of that mindset. And please, if you've ever said to yourself, I just want someone to love me, get rid of that mindset. All right. We do not want you in that mindset, because if you're in that mindset, you'll be down here in scenario number 2, where you're choosing between one 5'6" ugly broke man and another 5'6" ugly broke man, instead of being up here where you're Xing guys out simply for looking at you the wrong way. Okay. You're Xing guys out simply because they don't pull out your chair. All right. You don't give a damn. You can't there's too many men already. You can't do this the right way. You gone. All right. But you want to be in a place like this and see the men are gauging this because they want to see how high or low are your standards, right? Because when they meet you, they just want to meet those standards. Even if he wants to date you and even if he wants to wife you, he still wants to get to that place by meeting exactly where your standards already exist. So even if he wants to wife you and date you, but your standards are down here for 5'6" ugly broke men, and that's all you wish for, you just want someone to love you, he will gladly meet you here, and he will do just enough to be in a relationship with you. And vice versa, if your standards are way, way, way up because you're out of his league, what is he going to say? Damn it, I want her. And if I want her, I'm going to have to beat out all these other men. I'm going to have to be rich. I'm going to have to be tall. I'm going to have to be handsome, interesting. I'm going to have to give princess treatment, buy gifts, all this other stuff, just so I make the cut here because her standards are so high. Okay. And it's such an important thing for men to be gauging at all times, whether they want to use the woman just to sleep with her, or even if they want to actually be in a relationship with the woman, they always have to take notice of, hey, are we in kind of the same level of desirability, or are you way more desirable than me? Because that's going to change the level of investment they put into the relationship and whether or not they choose to put their best foot forward. So you want to always be presenting yourself as this, as if you are out of his league, okay? Which is exactly why we talk about the way someone who is out of his league will act, talk, walk, and respond to him, because we want everything that he thinks of you or sees of you or receives from you to be in line with this and not in line with this, as if you have no options. Okay, does that make sense to you guys so far? Okay, someone said, why split screen on TikTok? It's split screen on TikTok because I want to make sure you guys can see the board, but you can also see me. If I don't do split screen, that's going to be a very weird experience for you guys to see both. All right, let's go on to our next point here. Okay, we gonna go into this. Point number 5. That was quite a visual. All right. Let me know also, chat, if you guys have any questions. I'll make sure to answer them so you're not all confused. All right. This is actually going to be the most fun one. All right. That we're going to talk about here today. See, this is the thing. Whether or not the men want to date you or wife you, they always want to gauge your level of intention. And I always tell you that you should be dating men with intention, right? Meaning they should have intention about you and about your relationship. We also have to discuss the fact that you need intention when dating because you need to know where it is you're going. Because one of the most valuable things to you is your time and your energy. And one of the gravest mistakes that you're going to make in life, right? Not just in dating, but in life, is wasting time and energy on the wrong things that don't serve you. All right? Meaning, when you date men, you should always be hyper focused on where is this going and what do I want out of a relationship. And the moment the guy you're dating doesn't serve that purpose or doesn't fit in what you need or what you desire in a relationship, you should be immediately getting rid of him out of your life and not spending any more time on him whatsoever. All right? So I want to break this down in a visual so that we can all get this understood. All right? Let's imagine, okay? Stay with me here. I know this is going to go a little bit off topic. Stay with me. We're going to connect it all at the end. Let's imagine here you are ordering Uber Eats, okay? And let's say you do your takeout. You get some noodles here, right? You get some chicken on the side here, and you get some broccoli. All right, that's quite a horrible meal, but whatever. That's what you want from Uber Eats, all right? You get it from the Chinese store, right? Fried rice, some broccoli, and some chicken. I don't know, whatever. That's what your taste buds are feeling. And we'll say you get you a nice little, let's just say, a chocolate brownie, okay? We'll put it like this, a little layered little brownie, right? So you get this from Uber Eats. And the cost of this meal, it's Uber Eats, okay? So let's just say the cost of this meal with all the damn fees is $45, okay? So you're expecting to pay for your chicken fried rice and broccoli and your brownie. You're expecting to pay $45. Someone said it's $90 on Uber Eats. I'm telling you, them prices are crazy. $45 for your chicken fried rice and your brownie, all right? And so this is what you expect to pay for that meal. So you order it on Uber Eats and you're like, okay, it'll be here in 20 minutes. And you get the food and the food comes to you and you eat it. Then later in the day, you check your account and of course you're expecting that $45 is gone from your account. But when you check your account that is on your Uber Eats account, you see that they actually charged you $0. They didn't take any money out of your account. Strange. The next day goes on and you're waiting for that $45 to come out of your account and still no money. Then on the third day you say, I wonder if that was a glitch. They didn't take any money out of my other accounts. Let me see if I order the same meal times 2 if I get charged $45. And again, you're able to order from the app like normal, and the charge says that it'll be $45. But again, after you get the food delivered to your house, you eat it, you check your account, and still, they don't charge you no money. And you're like, did I just come up on a lick? So the next day, you order the same thing. Now, you've ordered it 3 times in a row. And still again, they charge you $0. And so now you're like, I'm going to do this every single day. And so now 3 days turns into 300 days, and every day they charge you $0. And until they charge you money, right? right? One day, let's just say a random Tuesday, 1 month down the line, they finally say, by the way, your Uber account has had some suspicious activity. We're canceling your Uber account, okay? And you ain't gonna be able to access this no more. And then your play is gone. And so the reason I give this example, okay, is because I want you to understand this is exactly what men will do with your time if they realize that you don't have intention while dating. They will say, oh, perfect. This is an Uber Eats account that I can charge and get something out of, right, without ever putting anything into. So when they realize you don't have intention, you want to know one of the main things they'll say? Oh yeah, I don't really know what I want right now. I just feel like I just want to chill. I just want to, vibe with someone that, shares my sense of humor. And, I just think that like right now I'm in a position where something serious doesn't really make sense. I just got out of this. I just got out of that. I have work. I have a business. I have feet. My feet only have 9 toes. And, this and that is just not working out. So I feel like for now, I just want to chill and relax. Doesn't that sound much better to you to just not worry, turn your brain off and chill and relax? And when you say yeah, you charge him $0 for his meal. Why? Because he then says, okay, I get to take time from you, right? By spending it with you, sleeping with you, watching Netflix with you, even just chatting with you. But I'm never saying to you, or about this relationship or this thing we're doing, that we're here for the purpose of building a relationship. I'm not promising you that, okay? I can walk away from this at any time, and I can make the excuse that I wasn't ready to build anything in the first place. But in the meantime, until I decide to walk away from this, I'm gonna continue to spend my time with you and around you, where we chit chat endlessly, we text all the time. Oh, you love being a text buddy. I send you Instagram memes, we chill, we watch Netflix, we cuddle, we do all this cutesy girlfriend and boyfriend stuff. But at the end of the day, I still am not here to be your boyfriend. So we chill, we hang out, we have fun, but we're never actually going anywhere. And the guys will charge the account and charge the account and charge the account and charge the account. 300 times they'll get themselves a free meal. And until you stand up for yourself and say, wait a minute, we're spending all this time together, but you don't even plan on being my boyfriend. Why am I here? That's the only time that they will stop ordering that food. Are you following me? Okay, right? Because in the example, you're ordering 300 meals until they fix their app, okay? It's not your job to fix the Uber Eats app when they have a glitch that doesn't charge your account when you order food. It's Uber Eats' job to realize that they're losing money on their chicken fried rice and you're getting this free food without them charging your account. So it's the same thing with the men. It's not their job to point out to you that you have so little intention or intentionality when it comes to dating that you're willing to sit around and just chill and relax with the guy and be friends with benefits with the guy with no clear direction. Okay? He's not the one that's going to step up and say, hey, I got 300 free meals. Maybe you want to charge me for the 301st one. No, he's going to say, I'm going to keep charging that account, right? Keep paying $0 and keep getting this damn free brownies and these free chicken fried rice until you figure out the problem. Which is exactly why the men will gauge whether or not you have intention. From the very beginning, based on what they hear you talk about, and based on what you allow or don't allow to happen in your relationship, they will say, oh, she's not here with intention, okay? She's not dating with intention, and she's not looking forward to the future as to what is she actually doing with this time. And unfortunately, the men will gladly waste your time. And you want to know what the irony of it is when they realize you don't have intention? While they're wasting your time, they will also, some of them will find women that they actually want to invest in and then start building with those women and then abandon you after wasting all of your time. Why? Because men are categorizing women and they're realizing, what can I get away with this type of woman versus what can I get away with that type of woman. And when they identify the woman that they actually want to pursue and put their best foot forward with, they abandon all the women who didn't bother to have the level of intentionality when it comes to dating, that they allowed them to get 300 free meals without ever being charged to their credit card. Okay? So I know it sounds malicious, but you have to understand, men are just receiving that from you and then responding to you according to what they receive from you. So if you want that to stop happening, you have to kind of change what the men are receiving from you. So as it relates to the intention, right? You have to be on that first date, on that first meeting, that first whatever, with a mindset that I'm only here for a reason. And if you're not here for the same reason as me, you're not even going to be able to waste my time. I don't want to hear this excuse. I don't want to hear this issue. I don't want to hear your sob story. You got to start getting mean, okay? I made a video about why you should be mean to men, okay? You got to start getting mean because you have to understand the men will take what they can get. And if you don't want to charge them for their free food, then they'll continue ordering some free food, okay? Does that make sense to all of you? All right. Do you guys have any questions about the 5 that we just discussed here today? Okay. Obviously, we had, let me go through them real quick. We had emotional control, the self-esteem, being naive or not, being out of the league, and having intention or not. By the way, for those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the clips of what we discussed here, you can always go on my YouTube. It's right above my head on the top right corner of the screen. Go on my YouTube. It's Tomisin Atobatele. You can rewatch the show because I'm live there at the same time I'm live on TikTok. And when you rewatch the show, you're going to be able to rewind it and see all the points that I mentioned in case you missed any of them, okay? Right? So I don't want you guys to think that you missed the whole thing, okay? We got lots of people in the TikTok chat, like over 800, right? Truly says, can this be reversed? Theoretically, anything is possible, but you have to understand, see, when the men are receiving you, they're receiving this over the course of time. So when they begin to, when they begin to understand you to be a particular type of way and a particular type of person, and they begin to understand your relationship to be able to get away with particular things, they eventually say to themselves, well, at a certain point, this is who you are. So when you try to change that, they say, well, I wasn't here for you to be someone I have to invest in or pursue. So then a lot of times what you'll realize is if you try to reverse this on someone that you've already established this dynamic with, they'll just say, oh, I don't want you anymore. Okay, right? Michelle says, so it's okay to say if you're not looking for marriage, I can leave in the first 3 dates? Yeah, Michelle, and all of you need to understand, you date for your own happiness. Don't forget that. You date for your own happiness. You don't date to say, oh, I like you, but I'll figure out what I can compromise about my really important morals and values to be with you specifically. No. You date for your happiness first, and you find someone that shares the same very important morals and values to you. And if they don't, you don't waste your time on them. You also don't start meeting people, and because you like them or like their vibe or like spending time with them, you try to convince them to be more like you or think more like you. That's not how that works, because when you have really extreme differences in your very important morals and values, there is no compromising on that, right? Certain things you can compromise in a relationship, but there are certain morals and values that need to be aligned in a relationship in order for it to work. Because if they're not aligned, then you have no foundation to build off of, all right? Knowing that you like white curtains and your partner likes black curtains is something you can compromise on. Wanting monogamy and your person wants to be polygamous is not something you compromise on, because those are foundational elements to a relationship. I might have to have a whole show on that, all right? Right? So Melina says, how do you know his intention is to marry? You get to know that, one, by asking him questions, and then also by, in the process of meeting him, seeing how much he acts on that philosophy. Meaning, if a guy says he is dating to marry, But in your relationship, he's talking about, oh, yeah, I was just thinking maybe we hold off on the girlfriend boyfriend thing because I'm not really sure if I want this yet. That's not in line with what you said that your philosophy was about dating. Okay, so you have to ask questions, but then also be gauging over the course of time. Is this in line with the philosophy that you say you have, or the morals or the values that you say you had? Okay. Sheree says, can someone let me know 3 and 4? They're all available on my YouTube page. Just go on my YouTube page right above my head, Tomisin Atobatele. I'm live there at the same time. I have all of the stuff that I mentioned here on there in a perfect format for you to watch there. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. All right. Divine says, why is the goal to get away with doing as little as possible and not happiness from giving? Well, you have to understand the reality of the world that we live in, and that's part of stepping into the Players Club. That's why the show is called the Players Club, is realizing that the world is not black and white, number one, and also we don't live in a utopia where everyone holds hands, sings kumbaya, and wants the best for each other. The reality of it is when you're dating strangers. You're dating men you don't know. And you can't trust that they actually are here for the right reasons. And so you have to look out for yourself and your own happiness and understand that some of the men you're dating will be trying to take advantage of you. Okay? It's not because, oh, you want to believe that everyone's bad, but you have to understand if you are of the belief that everyone's so amazing and everyone just wants to see you win, you're actually going to end up getting taken advantage of in this world. So you have to be understanding of some of the things that are going on in your relationships and the dynamic you're sharing and how things are moving and shifting to be aware of what is going on currently. Because if you just be in la la land and you just want to be of the belief that everyone's amazing and everything's awesome, people will play you. And then you'll be very sad when you realize you got played. So I'm trying to help you reverse that by showing you some of the realities of the world and specifically of men and the dating life with men, so that instead of you feeling like everything is amazing and being so naive in la la land that you get played, you can at least feel the pain of hearing me talk about it on on an afternoon. And while you might be in a little bit of pain, you might be a little bit disappointed. Once you get that information, you'll go on your dates more equipped, more ready, with more knowledge and intelligence. And then when the guys try those things on you, be like, I literally heard, you literally are doing and saying exactly what I heard about in the Players Club from Tomisin. So now I know exactly what you're doing. I'm not confused at all. And you'll actually feel so much more empowered, powerful, and capable and confident on your dates because you'll feel like, oh, I know this trick and I know how to respond to this trick. So like, I don't have to question what's going on here. I don't have to gaslight myself or make myself feel crazy. Are you following me? Right? Bella said, I need to watch this daily. Yes, for those of you who are on YouTube and you feel like, or not on YouTube, on TikTok, and you feel like, damn, I really need this type of in-depth information all the time, it's all available on my YouTube. I do YouTube videos, I edit them down, and I also do these lives there as well where you can rewatch the whole live. Because I know some of you are like, damn, this is some stuff that I really needed to know, okay? Someone says, Tasty says, if you had the exclusive combo, is it okay to pivot to the one-on-one hangouts depending on the connection? I mean, if you've had the exclusive conversation, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having one-on-one hangouts, but then you also have to gauge where are we at in terms of the relationship? Because you can't say, oh, we had the exclusive convo after our first meeting, so now we can sleep together, right? Because that you also have to be gauging consistency as well. Consistency is one of the main things you have to gauge for men, because guys can be anyone for a day, literally anyone. They're good at that. Being anyone that you need them to be for a day. It's much harder to be that same person for an extended period of time, okay? Much harder to be that person for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, right? Which is why you want to give it time to see if the person that he is changing or if it's staying the same, all right? So let's hop into our next segment of the day, all right? For those of you who are new here, we got multiple segments in the show. We're going to hop into our next segment, which is our React segment. I'm going to be reacting to clips around the TikTok universe that you guys have sent sent to me. So spam up your headphone emojis, spam up your camera emojis, spam up your baby oil emojis, because we're about to get rocking and rolling into our next React segment, okay? I'm gonna clean up here just a little bit, make sure we get it all good, get my couch and my chair all good for you guys. And in the process of me cleaning up, I'm gonna play a little video for you guys, as a little intermission. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. While I clean up, you're gonna listen to a creator called Matt Boggs. He's awesome. He's got like 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's killing it, all right? Much older than me, very, very wise, probably knows even more than I do. So you're gonna listen to Matt Boggs while I clean up, and I'll be back in a little bit.
It's going well, the two of you are into each other, but he's not verbalizing how he feels. Like, he's just showing up for you. How do you know whether or not he's got really strong feelings for you? Why isn't it that guys are just coming out doing stuff like this? Because it's terrifying. You got to remember, the guy you're dating doesn't know exactly how you're feeling either. And so it's terrifying to be the first one that comes out and says, look, I've got really deep feelings for you, or I'm falling for you, or I love you. In my relationship, I dated a woman that I was super in love with. We dated for 8 months, and I decided I was going to make this grand gesture where I finally revealed how I felt about her. And I knew she cared about me, but there was a part of me that was wondering, like, how much is she into me? And so I take her on this picnic, and I favorite drinks and some snacks, some food, some cheese, some grapes. And I had written her this whole poem about how much she meant to me. And the end of the poem had the words, I love you. And it rhymed and it tied together. And so it's a beautiful day. We're sitting in this park. We're enjoying ourselves. And I said, hey, I created this gift for you. And it's in the form of a poem. And so I read her this whole poem. And I get to the end where I say, I love you. And like, my heart is open. And like, I say, I love you. And she goes, thank you. Thank you. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, this did not go the way that I planned. And I was like heartbroken. I was like, wow. Because I didn't know how she felt about me. I didn't know what were really the things to look at and look for. Now, the most obvious is when you both verbalize and it's backed up with action. Those two things have to match, your words and action. But what are some of the signs? What are some of the things that you can look at to let you know that this guy's really got strong feelings for you? We're gonna unpack 5 of those right now. The first telltale sign that this guy's got strong feelings for you is that he gives not only to you, but the people that matter to you. Might be your family, it might be your friends. And so he's giving, it might be in the form of gifts, it might be in the form of a favor, an act of service, doing something like that. When I started to date my wife, she would come over, I would have to fly down to Southern California to hang out with her, so I'd stay with my sister. So she'd come over to my sister's house, and as she came over, she would always bring my sister like a little gift. And it was part of her culture, but it was also just who she was. She cared. She wanted to show that this interaction was significant for her. It mattered to her. So it might even be like fruit from her backyard, tangerines from their tree, or it might be something for my nieces and nephews who were little at the time, and she'd bring little toys for them, but something that showed her demonstration of caring. My assistant and I were talking about this very point, and she was like, oh, I've totally experienced this. My sister was dating this guy, was totally into her. And when we would all hang out, he would pull her chair out, but he'd come out and pull my chair out as well. Or we all went hiking one time, and he actually brought these little blister Band-Aids and offered them to me, offered them to her. And he was just giving. He wanted to make sure that the people that my sister loved, he was also giving to as well. So is this guy caring and considerate of not just you, but the people that you care about? The second sign that you'll know that this guy's got strong feelings for you are how his friends act, the people that matter to him. Because if he's got strong feelings for you, he is telling his friends about you. And his friends can tell that he is smitten for you. Like, this is different. He's got a whole nother level of interest than
some of these videos around town. Okay, let's hop into our first video of the day, which comes from, did we do the why men are ghosting? Yeah, we did that one. So this
doesn't matter what your
today comes from Nico from the Daddy Academy. You guys love Nico, right?
social media looks like to a man. Welcome to the Daddy Academy. I'm going to preface this by saying you should never cater something to make men like you, right? So however you want to present yourself online, do it, right? But if you're asking for my advice, I would say this. Men are very visual, right? You might not think so, but a guy's going to stalk your social media before you go out, and he is going to immediately, just like you guys would, make an assumption of who you are, right? And I've talked about this before, that men very quickly, very quickly know if they're putting you in the potential girlfriend box or the casual box, right? So this decision can even come, and unfortunately so, prior to meeting you, all right? So based on the vibe he's getting from your profiles, he might already bucket you. Not saying that you can't come out of that bucket, but he will have a pretty good idea of kind of what he's thinking. My advice is really to portray your authentic self, right? Don't try to create this like exciting persona version of you that like deep down isn't, right? Obviously, we're all going to post pictures of us going out, having a good time. You know, of course we are, right? I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying like really audit yourself and just be like, is this me? Because at the end of the day, if you're portraying somebody who isn't you, or is this like party version of you, it's like at the end of the
Don't worry, at the end of this, I'm going to give you guys a strategy that's foolproof. Okay.
day, like when you're meeting a person, you're going to attract the wrong type of man, right? You're going to attract somebody who's into that version of you, or into party hookup version of you, not the version of you that is looking for a relationship or a meaningful connection. So there needs to be just a healthy balance of showing your fun side, your wholesome side, showing like the person who you really are. Because if you want to use social media as a tool to attract the right type of man, you need to start thinking about it in this sort of strategic way. Does it matter what your social media looks like?
Here's the thing about what Nico said, and I want to give you guys practical advice here, okay? Obviously, you don't want to be someone that you're not. The easiest way to identify if your profile represents you is to think of it like this. If you're sitting in front of, let's say you're at a family event, and you're at this family event with your cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, everyone is there. And at this family event, everyone's in the backyard, and there's a big projector screen in the backyard. And on this big projector screen, for some reason whatsoever, someone decides to project your Instagram profile on AirPlay. Okay, so they're on your Instagram profile and they're scrolling through it. Now, when they're scrolling through your Instagram profile and it's going in front of all your cousins, family, uncles, and aunts, would you be embarrassed about what they would see on there, or would you feel perfectly fine with what they would see on there? Okay. And the reason that I say that is because if you would feel totally, utterly embarrassed about them scrolling through your profile because you'd be like, oh my God, I don't want you guys to see this or know this about me, then you are not representing yourself in a way that actually aligns with how you want to be seen. Because if your Instagram profile is meant to be a digital representation of you, you should have no problem with what your digital version of you represents. Do you follow what I say? Okay. And that doesn't, and that goes for whatever you decide to do. If you like to do OF, stand on that, let that be you, and embrace that. If you want to have your cheeks out on your Instagram, stand on that, embrace that, and let that be you. But what you don't want to happen is that your profile is something you're embarrassed about, where you feel like, oh, I do this on my Instagram, but I don't want anyone to know that I do that. Or I don't want my friends and family to see me doing that. Because then there's a misalignment between who you want to be, or how you want people to see you, versus how you feel you're portraying yourself online. Because at the end of the day, if that is misaligned, then you're actually doing yourself a disservice, because how people are going to now perceive you is not in line with how you want to actually be perceived. Are you following what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying do your profile like this, don't do it like that. You can't post this, only post pictures in long dresses or pants and not tight skirt. Do whatever makes you comfortable, but stand on that. Be about that. Be that person and embrace that person. Don't do it and then say, oh, but I don't want nobody to see me or think that, no, that's me or perceive. No, that's you. And if you don't like that representation of you, then you have a different problem, because now you have a misalignment. Okay. So if you don't like the idea of your cousins and aunts and uncles seeing your cheeks out on Instagram, I'm having a question for you. Then why are your cheeks out on Instagram? If you don't mind that, and you just want them to all accept you for who you are because you want to dress how you want to dress, then go ahead and do that. But then stand on that. That's all. Let's go to our next one, which comes from, let me just refresh here. Our next one comes from, who is it here? Okay. Our next one comes, I don't know who this creator is.
Okay, look. I saw how I treated you and I saw how it made you feel, and it did not make me feel good. And if we're broken up, I can't make it up to you.
How are we supposed to grow together if there's not fuck ups along the way? You tell me that. We gotta stay together.
Look, okay, I changed. I'm not the same guy that I was a week ago.
You're gonna say that I haven't changed if you're not giving me a chance to prove it. I fucking changed. We have.
Look, this time that we spent apart, it's just gave me time to reflect upon my actions and how I treated you as a boyfriend. And I read all the text messages, and you were right. It pains me to say it, but you were right.
Fucking change, and if you give me another chance, I'll prove it to you, okay? But if you don't, you're just gonna let them win.
That's funny. That's funny. Who's they? I don't know. There's always the they. I love this because it's true. It's true. And guys are poets when they need to be poets. Okay, they're good at being chameleons when they need to be chameleons. One of the things actually that I want to point out that they said that I really want us to touch on.
A week ago.
This one actually.
I'm not the same guy that I was a week ago.
I know some of you get curious about what should I do when a guy comes back? How should I accept him? How do I know he has really actually changed? A lot of times, I hate to say it like this, but a lot of times, you're thinking that guys treat you wrong, spend a couple of days in no contact, and then they make it seem as if they've had a magical epiphany in a couple of days and done a complete 180. Majority of the time, that hasn't happened because it's really just not possible for someone to just completely flip in a matter of a couple of days. What really usually happens is they just realize, oh, I'm starting to lose her, so I got to do something really extravagant, not in actions, because be damned, guys would ever take action. But they say, I got to say something really extravagant and really powerful that will make her feel like, oh, yes, this is going to be so much different now. One of the ways you sniff that out, though, is by when he does decide to come back into your life or he says all this stuff, ask him, oh, okay, so what's the plan then? Right? Or if you even before you even ask, listen to see if you ever hear him talk about a plan, because guys will talk a big game about how they've changed and how they're different. And that's one of the reasons I love breaking down shows like Love is Blind, which we will do that more in depth on other days. But you get to notice that men are really good at yapping about their relationship with you, but not actually saying anything tangible. And guys do this too when they ask for forgiveness. They just say, I'm sorry, I treated you wrong, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. But then when you actually start thinking about wait, what was actually what's actually the solution here? What were actually the tangible, actionable items that we came away from this conversation with? And you'll realize there are none. All he did was yap about vague, general points in your relationship that could have applied to anyone. Okay, and it's honestly, when you realize that and you start noticing that, you'll realize that guys are just yapping a lot of the time. Okay, not all. Sometimes they actually want to make a change, but when they actually want to make a change, they'll come with actionable items, not just I'm sorry for being mean. Okay. Okay, I can't play the music. Let's see what this says. He knows when your period starts and ends, but he doesn't know when you need money. May God free you from that gynecologist boyfriend. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, that's pretty funny. Let's go into this one. This is all music. I don't want to get copyrighted. When he was obsessed with you a week ago, but doesn't want anything to do with you a week later. That's being obsessed with sleeping with you. Okay, chat. You should know that. If a guy is, she said a week ago, but if a guy is obsessed with you for a week and then obviously magically he's changed, all that changed is that his PP went from hard to soft. Okay. Don't get too stressed out about that. But also, this is why you have to have your own happiness. Okay. Also, chat, please. I love you all so much. Chat, please. I love you so much, and I care about you, and I care about your well-being, and I want you to be happy. And I know you get sad. Please don't post yourself crying. Please don't. Please don't. I know you go through sadness. I know you go through emotions, but I just want you to understand, posting yourself crying doesn't do what you're imagining that it does. It's very cringe for all the rest of us, okay? There might be a few people that message you and they say, oh, what's going on? Are you okay? But like, those are the people you should just talk to directly. Are you following me? Don't do this for attention. Don't do this just don't do this. It's very cringe, please. I beg of you, because I love you and I want you to see you win.
A woman to be obsessed with a man than a man to be obsessed with a woman. If a man's obsessed with a woman, he takes his eye off the prize. He's nowhere close to being as productive, competitive, or successful. He gets in his emotions, gets in his feelings. He starts to make mistakes. That has a deleterious effect on his outcome.
The music's so damn loud.
However, when a woman's obsessed with a man, that man tends to have better outcomes. When a woman is obsessed with her man to the point to where she's willing to be inspirational to him, he has better outcomes. And who benefits from those outcomes? She does. Well, wait a minute. Somebody needs to love somebody more. And gentlemen, she needs to love you more than you love her. That's a hard pill
Interesting.
to swallow, ladies. But to the guys I'm talking about, gentlemen, never get involved with a woman who you need to love her more than she loves you. And I know a lot of women have been I've been told that he needs to love you more than you love him. Right. And that's why we have such a high divorce rate, and women can end up walking away from marriages or relationships like this because they don't care.
Do you guys think the woman should love the man more in a relationship?
It is far better for...
Here's the thing. The dynamic he's talking about in theory is not wrong, because the dynamic of being able to inspire and be there for your man that lifts him up to higher heights, there's absolutely nothing wrong or untrue about that dynamic. But the other opposite part that he's not also taking into account is if all women go into their relationships with the mindset that I need to be super obsessed with my man for this to work, then they end up getting played. Because what he's talking about is a relationship in which the man has his own equal level of investment in the success of the long-term relationship. And then in the process of that, the woman's investment in him takes him to higher heights, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the idea that you will come into all your talking stages, dating stages with all the strange men that you'll meet on Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder and be like, oh, I need to be obsessed with you because I heard that that's the dynamic that works. You'll only end up having men that aren't invested in a long-term serious relationship with you say, oh, you heard that from Kevin Samuels? Perfect. I'm not actually interested in being in a long-term serious relationship with you or taking care of you. But if you want to be obsessed with me and give me princess treatment, that'd be perfectly fine and okay with me. We'll just keep it quiet that I'm not going to do anything for you. Okay, so leave the obsessed energy. I love you so much. I care about you so much. I'm here to inspire you and build you up for your man. And I mean the man that actually goes out of the house and identifies himself as your boyfriend or your husband. Not the man that will go outside the house, meet a girl with a big dump truck and have amnesia about his relationship with you. And all of a sudden he'll be single still, okay? Don't do that or make that mistake, all right?
Oh, now my Darlington, you will never win. You will never win. Because firstly, the things you nag about and the things you complain about, you're not showing action. to show truly that this thing that I'm complaining about, you know, when you nag and complain, then you do the opposite. So it's not making sense. Let me tell you something. You see, in your marriage, you will never win. There can only be one captain. One captain and one passenger. And that passenger is you. Because either way, even if you want to fight and be the captain, there's more responsibilities for the captain. So
Okay, let's see if you
just
cook.
be the passenger. So your job is to just obey. Don't nag. Don't complain. Obey. Here's a strategy.
Okay, cook.
Your husband tells you he wants a cooked meal, but you know that you are really tired. Okay? You're really tired or you're not feeling well. But you know if you don't do it or if you start complaining, it's gonna blow out of proportion, right? What you do, put the food on the stove, but let it burn. I did it. I mean, I put all this effort, but it burned because, I told you I'm not feeling well, baby.
I thought she was gonna cook some really interesting strategy here. Okay.
So I didn't even have strength. I passed out. You don't nag. Obey. Do what your husband tells you to do, but do it wrong. Mama, you're making me pay the bills. No, I'm tired of paying bills. I'm tired of buying groceries. He's gonna show you flames even more because you're still gonna run out there, go and buy the brisket, buy the lamb shag.
So what do you do instead?
Go and do the groceries. Yes, baby. I don't have money this month. I don't have enough money this month for me to help with the bills or for me to buy groceries. Then he doesn't listen to you. Cool. Go and buy groceries, Lala. Go and buy the groceries.
This philosophy is a little bit flawed to me. I kind of get what she's trying to say in a sense that understand, like, you get what you want not by trying to force him to do it, but by getting it through different ways. But I think her examples are a little bit off, and I don't think that the purpose or the root of what she's saying is really about obeying your husband, or just blindly listening to him for whatever he wants. It's about understanding that I think at least, to get what you want, you understand that you can get what you want, but it's usually just not by asking for it directly. It's usually by strategizing how men respond to things or get triggered by things to then eventually, in a roundabout way, get what you want through his own volition or feeling like he said it or did it himself type of thing. Okay, I think that's the more powerful message there. Yeah, maybe I'll shoot her some bail. That's what she was trying to say. I just don't think that the method of, okay, I'll cook the food and then burning it, really, I don't think that really, I don't know if that's that she ate with that one. Okay, that was as the kids would say.
Is no man is emotionally unavailable or nonchalant to a woman that he actually wants. But since you are not the woman that he wants to be with, he is going to fail in every single category in which he is to meet your needs. But let a woman come walking along that he actually wants, and I'm going to tell you, those dates that you were begging for, those flowers that you wanted him to give you, or those gifts that you may have wanted, those are going to be a priority in that next.
Here's what guys don't understand when they are talking about this situation. So they will say things like, a man is, not going to do things for you because he's emotionally unavailable and he doesn't view you to have enough value to do those things for you. But watch how quick he'll do it for a woman that he does view to have value, right? Watch how emotionally available he'll become with the right woman. So really, it's that he's just not that into you. You're just not good enough for him. And you should just walk away from this situation because he's making you a fool, right? What they don't tell you is that when this man does find a woman that he views to be so worthy, so perfect in his book, he's going to do all those things for her, right? He's going to plan all those dates. He's going to bring her flowers. He's going to have a ton of motivation to do those things for her in the beginning. A man who is emotionally unavailable is a man who has insecure attachment. And when he has insecure attachment, he has a very low sense of self-worth and very low self-esteem. So this is an incredibly insecure man. So an insecure man either views women as inferior or superior. So when he is going into relationships, he knows the difference between the two. Like, he knows which women he views to be inferior. Like, okay, I can tell I don't have to do that much in this relationship, right? And he knows the women that he views as superior to him, where he's going to have to go a little bit above and beyond. But what people don't talk about is that both women in this situation are going to be treated equally bad, because it has nothing to do with the woman. And that's why I don't like it when people word it this way. Like, if he finds the right woman, he's going to change his ways. No, he's not. He's emotionally immature. He's emotionally unavailable. And that cannot be changed by another person. It can only be changed by you, because that shit is deeper wounds that live inside of you. So here's what's going to happen. Let's say he has this situationship with a woman that he views to be inferior, okay? He doesn't really think she's good enough to date for whatever reason, which is mostly just personal preference. Maybe he just doesn't think she's hot enough to date, whatever it might be. So he's just fucking around with her and she's letting him. And so he is taking what he can out of that without actually having to commit, okay? So they're engaging in that. And then let's say another woman comes along who he is like, oh my God, she's so hot, she's so perfect, she has her shit together, she's stable, she's everything I want. So he drops this other girl from the situationship and he immediately just wifes this new girl up. Like, he's like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with her, she's so perfect. So right away, he's going to have all this motivation to just like court the fuck out of this woman, because he wants to put on his best face for her. He wants her to like him, because he's viewing her as superior to him, right? She is everything. She's perfect. I want her to like me back. So he's going to show up really well. Now, what happens is that behavior by him is not sustainable. That behavior doesn't continue through the whole relationship. And this is what nobody talks about. It's not like the guy just changes for this new girl. He just does that for a little while because he's chasing her, right? Once he gets her, that's when it all changes, okay? Because he can.
So I actually think the strategy here, because I've seen some of you guys say this in the chat and some of you all are right. Two things can be true, right? Some guys might be doing it because you're just not the girl that he wants, but some guys might also be doing it because they're overall, emotionally unavailable. So then the question becomes, well, you don't want an emotionally unavailable man. Cool. Some guys will do it because they're toxic. Some guys will do it because they're emotionally unavailable. Some guys will do it because they want a different girl. How do you identify whether or not the men are emotionally unavailable or not, so that you don't waste your time on them? Because sometimes you can get caught in the loop of trying to, this is the mistake. When you get caught in a loop of trying to understand why this particular guy is emotionally unavailable, you can waste more time on a guy who's wasting your time than necessary, because you're trying to figure out why is he so emotionally unavailable, instead of trying to figure out if he's emotionally unavailable. And then once you figure that out, you just peace out. Okay. And the better and I think that's a more efficient use of your time. Obviously, we talk about different topics and ideologies here, but you don't want to get caught in a loop of trying to figure out, is he emotionally unavailable because of his ex, or is it because of the fact that he's just overall emotionally unavailable, or is it that he wants a different girl? Because when you get caught in that loop, you're just trying to be an FBI agent instead of just realizing it and then going on with your life type of thing, right? So you also want to keep that in mind, because I think that both things that those people said can be true in many different cases. And so you just want to be asking questions. And when you get on dates with men, you want to be doing what we call LORA, okay? LORA, right? Listen, observe, receive, and analyze, right? In your relationships, in your dating and talking stages, so that you can gather information and figure out where is he, what is his level of interest, and where does he see our relationship going, right? Very interesting that actually I want to mention actually listening to this, because one of the things that I've noticed that some of you do that are really smart, intelligent, amazing women is when we get into our Discord, that I've seen this, and in helping some of you, sometimes you guys have so much intelligence and capability to like go really good places, but simply because you eventually want to be a housewife, right, and not work, which is nothing wrong with that, you start immediately going into your dating and your talking stages and stripping yourself of all of the things that you're doing that were so important to you when you were single, because it's almost like you're trying to mentally prepare yourself for the eventual time when you're going to be a stay-at-home housewife. Like I said, that's not in itself a crime, but you want to make sure that you're sacrificing your goals or sacrificing the stuff that you were doing to be a housewife for your husband, not for random men that you just casually start dating, okay? Even the men that you start to get a little bit of an arrangement with, don't ever put aside your goals or stop doing what you were doing before or what was important to you before, that you put yourself in a position where that man becomes your lifeline or like your oxygen tank, like we talked about yesterday, okay? And it's not about, thinking all men are evil or not wanting to do anything for them or thinking that they can't bring you any sort of happiness, but it's about understanding that even while you build a relationship with someone, you still keep you as a priority and you still build you up. That way, no one can ever take that away from you or take away your happiness, right? Or take away your ability to be centered and grounded. Because when you just put away everything for a man and you say, oh, I want to be a housewife, so now I started dating this one guy that I like for a little bit and I'm going to stop doing everything else that was important to me. Soon as he walks away from you or your relationship gets a little bit rocky, now you're thinking, how do I save this? Because my happiness is all invested into him, right? And that's very bad. Right. All right, chat, let's hop into our next segment of the day. You guys better know what this segment is. I just recently mentioned it. So spam up in the chat if you know what's coming next. You should know what's coming next by now if you've been a member of the Players Club for long enough. All right, it's a very special time. It's an amazing time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry, okay? Get yourself ready. We're about to knock your socks off with some entertainment and some stories here. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your clock. Don't look nowhere else in your home, okay? Very special time. I'm going to tell you the time if you don't know the time. Yeah. All right, chat. Let's hop right into our Discord time. For those of you who are unaware of what this time is, I'll explain this to you real quick so you guys get how this works. All right. So here we all of us Players Club members, we join ourselves in the Discord, and Discord time is where all the members of the Players Club get an opportunity to ask me a question in our Discord channel. All right. Now you have multiple ways of submitting your question about your relationship or your situationship, and I'll explain them to you right now. So you have a free version here, which is available in the link in my bio or the link in my description. Okay. You go to our Discord, you put your question in our free relationship advice section, just format it how I said to format it, and I will answer it there on a first come, first serve basis. Now you see me scrolling, all these highlighted questions are questions that I haven't yet got to, which means I have to get to them first before I'm able to get to yours. So it's going to take me a couple of weeks if you put your question in today. Now, if you don't want to wait for a couple of weeks to get your question answered, you also have the option of submitting your question into our premium relationship advice. All you got to do to send your question into premium relationship advice is go into my link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. When you get there, you click where it says premium relationship advice, you donate to the show. It's going to prompt you to put your title or your username, the title of your question and your username. You put that in, you donate to the show, and then you drop your question in here. And I get the notification on my phone to ensure that that's you and it's your question. That way people aren't posting in here that aren't supposed to post in here because they haven't donated, okay? Now, the other way that you can send in your question to me is by going into our private relationship advice section here. And where we have it in here, all you got to do is click this link, or it's available in my TikTok or my YouTube description. And when you click private relationship advice, you can submit your question right to me and I get it. I'm the only one that sees it. It's not on the show if you want to keep your stuff private. And I give you a response via voice message through your email that you sent to me when you submit your question. And you get to have a private response from me, more one-on-one there as well. All right. So let's hop into our first premium question here, which comes from Dulcie. All right. So Dulcie says, am I cooked? sister unalived, and implied it was a lie. Oh boy, I feel like we're gonna have to buckle up for this one. All right. Hey Tomisin, I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out because I need some advice. I have guy friends that I went to about this, but I know I need to come to the pro. Okay, thank you. So I met this guy on Hinge. I know, LOL. Anywho, we went on a date and it was great. 2 weeks ago, October 18th to October 20th, he asked me out for my birthday since he couldn't spend the day with me in NYC. Okay. I said, okay, and said, I'm going to take you to a day spa. Sorry, he said that, and get you all pretty. I said, okay, cool. The weekend came around and I didn't hear from him. I called him on Sunday after I went to the gym, and he told me he forgot he made plans with me because his dad is sick and he had a terrible scare. Okay, great. We had a discussion and he said he will do better, right? Yada, yada. Then this past weekend went by, October 26th to October 27th. He said he was going to take me on my birthday the night I got back from NYC. The day of my birthday comes and I heard nothing from him. I reached out to him and this happened. Please let me know your thoughts. I would like to mention he asked me to delete the app Hinge with him on our date. We deleted it together. Aw, so romantic. I know, silly move. Anywho, I've attached screenshots. I crashed out because my best friend said he was lying about his sister being unalived and implied that I did some research. Give it to me raw, Tomisin. I tried to call him on October 29th, the day he told me to, and he didn't pick up. He also works every morning at 6:30, so he's typically asleep by 6 to 8 p.m. I would like to know that he has sent money to me for lunch before and picked me up from work since my car has been out of order. Also, he sent me money for Ubers and offered to pay for my mani-pedi for the next set. How romantic. My guy friends said they think I still have a chance. They think you still have a chance because he was still writing me. I would like to mention he deleted me on Snap and IG. I also was throwing Justin LeBoy subs at him. Justin LeBoy, for those of you who are on the older side, don't know what she's talking about, is an Instagram profile run by someone that he posts just a whole bunch of toxic quotes on there. So if you're reposting a Justin LeBoy quote, you're posting essentially a toxic quote, okay? Just think of it like that. One of my older guy friends said, do not reach out again if he doesn't write you tomorrow. So let's view these screenshots here. Okay, I see a lot of blue. Are you alive? Honestly, after yesterday, I'm sure that maybe you've been fronting and lying this whole time. I don't appreciate it because you aren't even keeping it real, and you basically stood me up on my B-day with no explanation. That's not cool at all. Let's see here. And you can't even be a man and explain yourself, which is not how a real man operates. You are very effed up for yesterday, respectfully. If I scared you, then cool. Why would you say that? But that could have been communicated. So, oh my God, you really did crash out. So you said that at 10 a.m. And then later at, oh my God, you really crashed out at 12 p.m. Did I say 12 p.m.? Yeah, it does. At 12 p.m., you then responded again and said, "Why won't you reply?" Okay, yeah, if you're ever addressing a guy and he has responded to you or he hasn't said anything to you and you're saying, "Why won't you reply?" It's cooked for you already. Like you're in too deep at that point. You're begging at that point. Why won't you reply? I deserve some kind of respect here. You're acting as if I did something wrong. Then he says, I'm sorry, my sister just passed away yesterday morning, so I'm struggling. I should have communicated with you, but I know that was my last straw, so I'll leave you be. I can't talk right now. I'm with my mom. No way. Your sister? Yes, my sister. The little one? No, my older one. Interesting. I'll leave you a no now. Sorry. It's what you said, no, and we established. I mean, your sister be unaliving. A little different, no? Can we talk tonight? Yes or no? I don't really have words for anyone. So you're just going to shut me out completely? I'm not shutting you out. I just got hit with a lot. So how can I be there then? Then you really crashed out. Then you say, you're a liar. You have a girlfriend. Okay. You're all right. You're crashing out. Yeah. Trying to figure out how can I be there for myself, let alone figure out how can I be there for someone. A girlfriend? Really? No, I just found something. Okay, and what's that? This ain't your B word? Who? Okay then. Did you send him something? I wish you would have shown us. If you're gonna show us a screenshot, just show the screenshot, girl. So you said, I think this is the name? Your sister, how many do you have? I have 4 sisters, 2 on my mom's, 2 on my dad's. What did you find? What does he mean? Okay. What do you mean, what did you find? Nothing. Shake my head. Okay. I didn't find anything besides your older sister who celebrated her birthday the other day. Nonetheless, I don't think you actually want to speak about it, so I won't bring it up. Let me go on the next one. You might as well now, because I'm here, so talk to me. Now what? Because what imaginary girlfriend I have? Would you like to see my sister's obituary when I get it? No, I don't. I didn't find a girlfriend, because I gladly will. No, I don't think you're lying. Well, okay, now you're backtracking, all right? I just don't understand why you can't communicate with me at all. And all I do is talk about how I feel about things. All you want to do, I think you meant to say. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you about my sister when I was attending to my family. So, this is his name, sorry. One text, one simple text or call, I expect for clarity. Okay, we get the gist here, right? Here's the thing. It's no girlfriend. Okay, you assumed because you want to be a detective. So he's essentially denying this. Right. And all right. Yeah. So he's essentially denying this because he is saying that he doesn't have no girlfriend. And you're saying that, okay, sorry, my bad. Why couldn't you just message me? Right. Oh, you go on to say here, one of my friends said he could have felt disrespected by the subs and didn't want to see them anymore. Thank you in advance. I also did digging and went on his dad's Facebook and didn't see anything about any daughters. It sounds like it's his sisters from his dad's side. Please help. One of my friends said he doesn't think he's lying at all. Also, he has direction in his own life. He's a director of operations for a transportation company and says he wants to be the VP of it. He said he recently got promoted this past month. Please help me rectify the situation. Oh, wow. More text. And I'm assuming the friend was your guy friend, right? No. Okay. So it's done. Yes. yes, I can allow other people to have an effect on what we had going on. It's a pattern. It's not, oh, so he's talking about the fact that you reached out to other friends and got their advice on this. Okay, interesting. I'm not a bad person. If you notice, I didn't even send you an image of the person I thought I found because I realized it was false information. Okay. And you're essentially backtracking. I kind of get the gist here. Right? You guys can also, if you're really nosy, you can read through all of these. It's all on the YouTube. You can rewind it or see it in the Discord. Here's the thing. I was friends with you, battery in the back. So he's essentially, it seems like he's upset. He's upset that you allowed your friends. Oh, you said you never slept with him? He's upset essentially that you allowed your friends to talk you into crashing out, right? And he doesn't like that your approach was to crash out first instead of believing him, right? He said, you turned me off, right? Instead of believing him or, asking him first or having a conversation with you. Okay, so actually this is interesting. I unfollowed you because that's what turned me off. So what you were posting turned him off. It's not moving past it. Yes, you are wrong, but you are just digging yourself a deeper hole for the fact that you didn't know. So again, you just assumed, and it got under your skin, and then look. So yes, I see your POV. Me personally, instead of assuming or even better, letting my friends put a battery in my back and control your feelings about who you are dealing with. Not a good look. Okay, I'm going to be real with you here, Dolce, right? I've seen all I need to see. The position that you're in here, you have to understand if he's telling you that he no longer wants to be with you or that he feels you've done something to the point where, he feels like it's unrecoverable, right? Or he just feels like this isn't a relationship for me. And I'll kind of scroll through these for you guys that want to be nosy and read these. It comes to a certain point where you just have to say, for yourself, that, look, okay, if you say that you are unhappy with where things are and unhappy with how I responded, cool. Because what's happening now is you're trying to apologize for what you did or how you responded. But at the end of the day, you've already responded how you responded. So there's nothing wrong with apologizing. But at a certain point, you have to realize if the apology and the acknowledgement of I did the wrong thing and I should have went about it a different way isn't enough for him, then you have to just accept that because you're not going to be able to undo that. And what's happening here is you're realizing, maybe I should have gone about it a different way. But you're also in the process of that trying to convince him that, hey, you should forgive me and you should still want to be with me because I was justified in reacting and responding that way. I'm not saying you're a bad person because you had a moment of anxiety and you kind of let that spiral you out of control. We've all been there. But you also have to accept that in the dating process, sometimes you're going to rub people the wrong way to the point where they say, yeah, you know what? I don't want to be with you. And unfortunately, in a situation that's, if his sister really did pass away and this really was a big misunderstanding, that can be something that just turns him off from you for the rest of the relationship, right? And in compound with, you posting all those subs, which is part of the reason why even on today's show, what was our number one topic on today's show? Emotional control. When guys see that you'll crash out at the smallest thing, they take notice of that. Right? Why are they taking notice of that? Because one, they're gauging how much they can control you, but they're also unattracted to women who will flip out and spiral like that just over something small, right? And that can be a turnoff for some men. Some men might be attracted to that because they want to utilize you or take advantage of you, right? But it is something that men take notice of, right? And he's taking notice of the fact that you're crashing out. And like he mentioned, you're allowing not only you have your own spiral going on, but you're allowing your friends to help initiate or intensify your spiral where you start talking to him in a way where he doesn't even get a chance to speak up for himself. So if you want me to explain the kind of man terminology that he's trying to describe to you here, I think what he's trying to say is I'm not upset at the miscommunication or the fact that it's suspect that I didn't communicate with you. I think what he's saying is, I'm upset that your approach to the situation was that before you even wanted to hear what I had to say or my perspective or what situation I was in, you immediately assumed that I was doing something shady. But the reason he's upset about that is because in the process of you making the assumption that you were doing something, that he was doing something shady, you didn't have any evidence to show for that. I thought in the screenshots you were going to send him a picture of the girl you seen or could verify that was his girlfriend. But you only ended up saying, oh, never mind, I didn't actually find anything, which makes you look very silly and foolish. It makes it look like you came to the conversation or the situation half-cocked without even knowing the facts, just making an assumption. If you had real facts with you coming to him, then it's undeniable and he's just trying to save face. But the fact that you had no facts and then you had to backtrack after calling him out and making an assumption about what he was doing makes you look very half-cocked, very just, out of it and just willing to like believe whatever people are telling you. That's not good. It's actually part of the reason why whenever you guys send me a message that what should I do about this? Should I call him out? Should I do this? I always tell you guys, do more research. Don't start flipping out and start feeling like, oh, I want to lose my mind. And because by the time you lose your mind, all your cards are out on the table. And you can't undo that. If you're going to catch a guy in the act, you have to have the emotional control to stay put and get answers first before you come to him. Because if you come to him without actually having answers and then you realize that you were in the wrong, you get a situation like this. So if you want actionable items from me, my actionable item from you is to stop messaging him. Because all you're doing from the screenshots that you showed me is you're trying to recover from the way that you approached it, and you're trying to convince him that he should still want to be in a relationship with you despite, having that experience with you. If he feels like this is something you can't come back from and he can't forgive this of you or unsee this, right, in combination with what you're posting and things like that, then that's fine. Just take it as a learning lesson. And in the future, where you start to feel like, oh my God, is he doing this? Is he doing that? Get your information correct first before you call someone out. Simple. Okay. But I think here now you're stressing, trying to recover when in reality, there's nothing left to recover. Because now what you're going to start doing is you're going to start having pick-me-sha activities to try to prove to him that you are worthy of him actually still wanting to be with you. And that's only going to make the relationship go more downhill. So you got to do nothing. If he decides he can forgive you, then he decides he can forgive you. You've already done your part in apologizing and saying where you were wrong. If he can't forgive you after that, you shouldn't be trying to convince him. Okay. Let's go to our next question here. We'll go to our free section and do a few here. So let's start off with, we're going to start off with T-Hat, all right? Do nothing got him hooked, all right? Do nothing got him hooked. T-Hat says, I'm 29. It's 6 months now being in a relationship with my boyfriend who is 50 years old. He's married to 3 wives. Let's get up and stretch just for a second, chat. We got to prepare ourselves mentally. All right. We don't know where this is going yet, but we want to, sometimes you just want to prepare your mind, your mind, body, and soul for things that may come. All right. We're going to do a little bit of a stretch break. All right. Stretch the hamstrings out here. Do a little bit of downward dog. All right. Because not the 1, not the 2, but the 3 wives. Okay, not even including you. So you're on pace to be the 4th wife. Wow. Okay, 4th place, I guess, isn't so bad. All right, let's see here. Don't judge me yet, Tomisin. Okay, I see. I just wanted to stretch it out. We'll feel it out. We'll see where this goes. I'm a Muslim, and he's also a Muslim. And our religion accepts polygamy. Hey, I'm just saying, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. All right, we're sending a message. We'll see where this goes. I gave him pineapples the 3rd month of our relationship, and I made sure I don't call him or respond to his chats immediately, even up until now. Okay. Okay, let's read on. That really got him crazy. Like, who the hell is this girl? He's a high caliber man. Ladies are always crazy about him, including his wives. I blessed, sorry, I think you meant to say, I was blessed the day I came across your page, Tomisin. It's a week after I met my boyfriend, I came across your page. As a sharp babe, I started implementing all the strategies. At first, I was so skeptical and nervous if I'm not doing the wrong thing. I think I'm gonna say if I'm doing the wrong thing. Then I asked myself that the other way around have been using with my exes. Does it bring any positive result? We had our third and last pineapples in September. I slept over with him for the first time, but I made sure I left very early that morning. Then, while we were together that evening, he started confessing how he finds it difficult to concentrate at work. Maybe because he has three wives and a girlfriend. So it's probably definitely very hard to concentrate at work when you have literally 4 women who need your attention. I feel like that would be take a lot of concentration. Whatever. I'm a content creator, and one of his coworkers told me secretly that he's always watching my videos anytime he's in his office. What do you mean by watching your videos? What do you mean by that? And what type of videos you posting? I know you're Muslim, but what's he doing in his office while watching your videos? Huh? Anyways, that made me believe my boyfriend more. Wait. What do you mean? Wait. Okay, hold on. My boyfriend told me he had to tell God to reduce this obsession he's having for me. Is he wanking himself off in his office to your videos? To some extent, because it's really affecting him mentally. Continue in the comment, please. He said he got more hooked when I didn't pick his call on time or text. That made him go more crazy. And no woman has ever made him feel this way. It's starting to make me feel like he's wanking himself off to your content creation videos. Yeah, you creating content, all right. You creating a lot of content in his pants, for sure. He said I would have gotten married since. Wait, what? If any of my exes has had this kind of feelings for me. Oh, he was saying if any of your exes had the same feelings that I have for you, you would have been married by now. Okay. Sure. He told me his intention with me was to just have me as a girlfriend. Was that supposed to be like oh, congratulations, you'll be a girlfriend to the other 3 wives? Okay. Okay. How he maybe it's because it's not you're a Muslim, so I'm unaware of the culture, and maybe that's supposed to be a good thing when he says you could be the girlfriend to my 3 wives. I don't know, because I don't know everything, Now he's thinking of getting married to me, so you'll be the 4th wife. Okay. Then I told him he has to come see my parents first before I can give him any pineapples again. Well, okay. Here's the thing here. Okay, I do have to address this because this has to be addressed. Are you, and I'm making no judgments here, but I have to ask this question. Are you a strict Muslim or not? Which one is it? Everyone is allowed to live their life how they want to live their life, and I'm not judging anyone's religion or culture. But my question to you is, are you a strict Muslim or not? Because I'm really confused. Like, you're doing some things that are obviously very against the religion and the culture, but then you're also saying, but no, meet my parents first, but also I slept with you already, but now I'm not sleeping with you again until you meet my parent. Okay. It's very confusing for me because I don't know where you stand. I don't even know how you're trying to represent yourself. Okay. I'm just being honest with you. So I think you also need to kind of answer that question for yourself. Who are you and what do you represent? Nothing wrong with being religious, but then you have to like, you have to like be like, okay, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. Because it's just confusing to me to whatever. But he's telling me he wants me to get pregnant for him, so it will make him make it easy for him to introduce me to the other wives. Okay, now I need to ask questions. Chat, any of you that are Muslim here, can you explain to me, is this normal? Would this be seen as normal, logical behavior and ways of going about a marriage or relationship? For those of you that know about polygamy, at least even especially polygamy in the Muslim culture, because obviously it's a religion, but also it's kind of a culture as well. Please explain to me, is this normal or is this abnormal to say you being pregnant would make it easier for you to be, for me to introduce you to the wives? I just don't want to misspeak without knowing that this is supposed to be normal. Okay? Because to me, that doesn't seem normal or logical at all. Okay? Because the deed would have been done already. His current last wife, okay, is really aggressive. What the? She has mistakenly caught us speaking on 2 occasions. She saw my earrings that was mistakenly captured on my boyfriend's picture. What? And my boyfriend carried me along on how, on how she reacted. I think you meant to say told you how she reacted. She scattered everywhere and said my boyfriend can never get married to any other last woman and she will forever be the last wife. Is that like one of the flexes? Like being the last wife is the ultimate flex when he has multiple? Because I guess you're the most recent, like he likes you the most because you're the most recent? I don't know. I'm really confused. Chat, are you confused? Do you guys get this? I don't know. Now my question is, should I get pregnant for him for easy access? Easy access to what? So like what? So the wife won't have to have any choice than to accept me. Or should I just follow the normal way for him paying for my bride price first? Please help. I don't want to lose him for anything. Looking forward to your response, our one and only Tomisin. Okay. Let me stretch first and then I'll answer the question because this is quite... Wow. I just, I wasn't expecting a question like this. Okay. Oh boy. Let me take a drink of water. I need to prepare myself. Okay. T-Hat. You have to understand here. Okay. He's a rich man, I'm assuming. That's why he has multiple wives. I'm trying to understand what's confusing me. I'm trying to understand what you actually want out of this relationship. Okay. I also want to properly understand, okay. I think that right now you're hearing him say things like, I'm obsessed with you, and that he needs to reduce his obsession with you. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel special, right? We all love to feel special. We're all human beings. But here's the thing though. See, what you're loving about this situation as it's going on right now, where he's saying, I'm so obsessed with you, Habibi. Sorry, I should say it properly. I'm so obsessed with you, Habibti, because that's how they actually say it. I love you so much. You're my entire world. You're my entire life. I'm obsessed with you. I can't stop thinking about you. So you feel really special right now, okay? But here's the thing. You're entering a relationship with a man that has 3 other wives. So the fact that you're entering a relationship with another man that has 3 other wives, you will not get that level of obsession forever. So what's making you feel special right now will eventually be what makes you feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated later. Because one of the things that's enticing you and building you up now and exciting you now is the fact that he's making you feel this special and saying how obsessed he is with you. But after you become the 4th wife, and then he goes and then you're with him for a while and he gets used to you and he gets used to sleeping with you and all that good stuff, he will eventually start looking for the new young, hot, amazing girl that he's going to sleep with. And that might eventually be the 5th wife. Because what I want you to recognize here, and I think this is actually perfect that you added this in your story, because I don't even think you realize how well this fits into the story, right? What you don't realize is right now, I'm trying to find where you said it here. Right now, what's happening is the other current wife, the current last wife, the reason she's being aggressive with you is because she was you. You don't realize that. She was once you, where he said, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with you, Habibti. I just can't believe how much I think about you, how much I want you, how much I want to be with you. In fact, we need to get married. I need to get you pregnant. She was you. And then eventually, as she became the wife, she realized over the course of time that he stopped being so obsessed with her, being so fascinated by her, wanting her so much and making her feel so special. And he took all of that gaze and attention and then started to put it on you. She's now upset because what once used to make her feel special about him and all the attention she used to get from him, she's no longer getting because he's giving that to you. And see, the cycle will continue. What you're not realizing is you're going to eventually be the 3rd wife, feel the same way as the 3rd wife does right now. You're going to be the one on his phone trying to get him to stop talking to the new girl, trying to get him to stop looking at that girl or looking at this girl, trying to get him to cut off his relationships with this one or that one, chasing him around here, chasing all these Scooby-Doo clues around, going crazy, going insane. She looks crazy. The 3rd wife right now, she looks crazy to you, right? She looks like a maniac to you, right? She looks like she's losing her grip, right? But eventually, you will be her. Losing your mind, not feeling special anymore, not feeling like he cares about you, feeling like he's putting all his time and attention and focus on someone else. See, let's have a little bit of a reality conversation here. I will never diss anyone else's lifestyle. But what I will say is, as human beings, we all love to feel special. We all love to feel unique. We all love to feel like we're the most important person to someone else and like we're someone else's priority. I don't care how polygamous you are. There is no one that likes to feel like they're 2nd, 3rd, or 4th fiddle or 4th priority to someone else. No one likes to feel like that. I don't care what type of relationship you're in. And the reality of it is, if you find yourself anticipating that you will be disappointed, disgruntled, or frustrated with the idea that someone else will one day get all of his obsession and attention as you are getting right now, if that scares you or makes you feel uncomfortable, this isn't even the relationship for you. Now, if you're like, oh, I don't really care, it doesn't really bother me, whatever, I'm cold-hearted, I don't feel a thing, sure, go ahead and continue your relationship. But if the idea of him saying exactly what he's been saying to you, oh, I'm so obsessed with you, Habibti, and saying this over and over again, if the idea of hearing him or seeing him say that to another woman concerns you or makes you nervous, right? A new woman, not his old wives, a new woman. If that concerns you or makes you nervous or makes you feel sick to your stomach, this ain't the relationship for you. Because I guarantee you that will happen. Why? Because that's been the cycle. which is exactly why wife number 3 is losing her mind. When you become wife number 4, you will also be losing your mind, going crazy, chasing after him. Okay? Now, if you know that that's something that you want or you don't mind or doesn't bother you, then you go ahead and continue this relationship. Okay? And do what must be done in terms of him saying it will be easier, because I don't know, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe it will be easier for him to present this when you're already pregnant. But in the process of you getting pregnant and being his wife, one of his wives, you have to ask yourself if this is even something that will bring you happiness. And you also have to ask yourself, will I still be happy when I'm not getting the attention, when I'm not getting the obsession, when he doesn't seem to care about me and all of his attention is on a different woman? Will I still be happy? If the answer to that question is no, then you leave the relationship. If the answer to that question is, yeah, I'll have the money at least, then continue the relationship. Those are your options there. Okay. Let's go into our next question here, which comes from, let's see, Marie. Okay. So Marie says, rebound, will we ever meet? Hello, Tomisin. I am 23. Your last videos helped me very much, and I'm currently working on my list of what I want/need. Good. I started getting to know this guy who's 27 when I was working in a hospital as a student nurse. Okay, a little bit of Grey's Anatomy. I was attracted to him at first, at the first day, because he seemed mysterious. Okay, he's got that aura to him. When he was working, he was half ignoring me, half flirting with me. Aren't y'all in the hospital? Isn't he taking care of patients? He should be fully focused on his patients, not half flirting with you. I hope his patients survive. All right. For example, he helped me with taking care of a patient and said, my name, let me help you. Boy, oh boy, I hate to be one of y'all patients. Y'all making lovey-dovey eyes at each other. He's horned up. I'm over here bleeding out and he's horned up. Buddy, stitch me up. It's insane. It's insane. And one time he hit me with a pillow flirtingly and laughed when he passed me by as I grabbed something out of the cupboard. There's patients passed out, bleeding out on the bed. He's taking the bleed out pillow and hitting you across the face, and you guys are having pillow fights with the pillow where some people are deceasing and unaliving. Boy, oh boy, I tell you, boy, Grey's Anatomy be taking over y'all minds in that hospital, boy, I tell you, boy. But to know he flirted with new girls that came to our unit. Oh, when I was there looking at me sometimes to see my reaction, I think, yeah, he was flirting with other girls to see your reaction. He also hugged my best friend at work, but not me. I found his phone number on that list in the nurse's room. Time passed and I found him on Snapchat and added him. So you took his number from the list in the nurse's room without his permission, and then you also found his Snapchat, probably through adding his number. And we snapped daily. I deleted Snapchat for good. He requested to follow me on Instagram. I accepted it. I asked him on WhatsApp to meet. He said, sure, I will let you know. He didn't text me in a week. I deleted his number. You deleted his number that you got from a public list in the hallway. I can't be nice to you in this one because your delusions taking over your mind. You saying you deleted his number as if you didn't obtain his number without his permission. But I felt maybe he would have changed, so I followed him again. You're looking like Boo Boo the Fool. So I texted, sorry, my anxious avoidant... You actually texted this? Tell me you didn't. Sorry, my anxious avoidant attachment kicked in and I deleted your number. If you still want to meet me, text me. If not, it's okay. Did you let me get up. Did you actually send him a message like this? What? It's some of these days it feels like I really do need to have a 24-hour live stream. Why? Oh my. I don't understand. Chat, please explain to me. Because I don't understand sometimes why communication is good, but you should communicate with people that actually want communication from you. The over-explaining and over-communicating with men that don't even care about you or want to be with you is so unnecessary, and it's so embarrassing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what you said here isn't bad in itself, but what I'm saying is that man didn't even ask you for your number. He didn't even ask to go out on a date with you or see you or do anything with you. And you're saying, oh yeah, text me if you want to hang out. Sorry, it's my anxious attachment. He didn't ask. And I honestly think he cares. Okay? And you're doing all this explaining to a guy that doesn't care. So he says back, hi, I'm happy that you texted me again. It's no problem. We can see about next month. Then I will have vacation. He's basically saying, I don't give a damn. I am looking forward to it. He's just being nice. He doesn't give a damn. I have to be mean so your delusion will rip out of your body. He doesn't give a damn. Next month on my vacation, be so for real. Me, okay, nice. You can text me on WhatsApp if you want. Stop. Okay. Stop doing this. Stop doing this, Marie. Stop. I want you. I get that this is you. I'm not saying change your personality, but stop messaging people like this. This whole send me a message if you want, talk to me if you want. If you want to be on a date with me, you can text me if you want. It's too much. Don't do it. If he wants to text you, he will. You don't need to say that and mention that. It just gives off the vibe of, hey, I would really love it if you were to talk to me. I would really love it if you were to text me. Like, that's not the unbothered energy that you need to be giving off, okay? Right? Carolyn just said it in our TikTok chat. You're like disqualifying yourself, right? You're basically saying, hey, yeah, I'm anticipating you might not want to talk to me. So if you don't want to talk to me, that's also okay. It's just very I have to sell you on the idea that, you might like me and I know you might not type of thing. It's very insecure, right? It comes off insecure. Then we will see you next month. Read by Chad, no reply. This should have been it for you. That should have been it for you. Meaning after this, the message should have ended. You should not be messaging him or doing anything with him anymore. I should not text him or post Instagram stories. Also, I mean, you can post Instagram stories, just don't post like, subliminals at him, okay? Also, to not respond to him when he texts me again. Don't. Honestly, don't. Don't. Also, I don't have his number anymore where I also saved his birthday. Are you joking? Are you joking? You make a little bit of googly eyes with this man over a patient that's bleeding out. He hits you over the head with a pillow that a bunch of patients have been on. And now all of a sudden you get his number and you saved his birthday in your phone. How? Marie, this isn't Grey's Anatomy. Okay? I get it. You're at work. You're excited. You're horned up. You think you're sharing a moment with the guy. This isn't Grey's Anatomy, though. He likes to flirt. He likes to have fun. It sounds like he's a doctor, because I feel like only doctors would be working that closely with nurses. You wouldn't be that closely with the other nurses. Either way, whether he's a doctor or a nurse, you didn't mention it. But still, this thing that you think is going on, he just likes to have fun in the office, okay? He's in the office. He's working, obviously, quite a lot. He likes to have fun, do a little bit of flirting, hit you upside the head with the pillow, get his pee-pee hard for a little wank fantasy. Not that, he's not really trying to do anything with you for real. Okay? So I can't congratulate him on his birthday. Don't. Please don't. What can I do in the future to avoid such situations and not get triggered on how my annoyance at guys or girls trying to make me jealous? Which girls are trying to make? Are you saying that girls are trying to make you jealous by flirting with him? Thank you. Keep up the important work. Okay, look, this is the reality. Stop playing Grey's Anatomy. Okay, you and this guy, I get it. Sure, I'm not saying that you're so delusional that he wasn't actually flirting with you. Even if he was flirting with you, you have to understand guys flirt, but that doesn't mean that they have a real, genuine interest in building a relationship with you. And you have to breathe in the reality that while he might flirt with you sometimes for fun, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's trying to build a relationship with you. That's not even a crime. But you have to breathe it in and accept it and not allow it to make you lose your mind. First of all, you should never have gotten his number and his Snapchat without his permission, okay? You shouldn't have even asked him for it because that's already off to a bad start. But you shouldn't have gone to a public list, gotten his number through the public list, and then started messaging him through by doing that. That's even worse. Not once did he ask you for your number or offer his number to you. So the fact that you're even messaging him off of that foundation is horrible in itself. That's another reason in itself to just cut it off. And on top of that, even after you did your thing where you're like, hey, message me on WhatsApp if you want, text me if you want to go on this date, if you want, message me, maybe, possibly, I don't know if you might want that, you might not want that. He left you on red. And he didn't respond. So that's your response. He doesn't give a damn. He's at work. He'll, make googly eyes at you if he wants to have a little Grey's Anatomy fantasy while he's at work and get his blood pumping, okay? He needs a little adrenaline shot. He'll flirt with you. But he ain't trying to build no relationship with you. That's just the reality of life. When you realize that, you'll be better off. So you've already started on the path, right? Delete his number. Get rid of it. Delete his birthday out of your phone. You don't need to wish him a happy birthday, okay? He's your co-worker. You don't need to wish him a happy birthday. If he tries to flirt with you and you know that triggers you, just ignore him. Or just smile, ha, 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 go on with your day, okay? Keep it copacetic at work if you don't want to make a big deal out of it. If you see him flirting with other girls, just walk away, okay? Keep it strictly work, right? Because you're wasting your time thinking anything is going to develop from this situation because it's not. Okay, I know you have a little Grey's Anatomy fantasy, but that's not happening here. Okay, get yourself out of this delusion and don't be wasting any more time on this guy. All right, chat? All right, chat, that's the show for today. For those of you who have a question for me and you want to send in your question, feel free to do that through our relationship advice premium section or our private relationship advice if you want your question answered ASAP and you don't want to be waiting weeks and things like that. All right? So those links are available. TikTok link in my bio or in my description as well. All right. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just Tomisin_Tub. It's right above my head on the top left corner of the screen there. For those of you on YouTube, it's right in the description. Just open up the description. You'll find my Instagram. You can go right to it. For those of you who are on TikTok, you want to rewatch the show because you love it so much. You love all the things we talk about. You're like, this is so amazing. I never knew I could have an experience like this. The entire show is available on my YouTube channel along with all my other live shows. Just go on my YouTube. It's Tomisin Atobatele. Right on the top right of the screen there. When you type in my name on YouTube, you go to my page, go to the live section. You'll see this live stream that we did today and all the other live streams that I've done since the beginning of time. And you'll have the YouTube and TikTok chat embedded in the video so you won't miss any of the conversation that all you jokesters be having in the chat. All right. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to figure out when you can catch me, it'll be tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. Make sure you guys subscribe to me on YouTube because that's the easiest, most reliable way to get notifications. Oh, and let me make sure I acknowledge one of our donations today, which came from Tams. I hope you're still here, Tams. Tams, thank you so much for the $10. You just sent a little super sticker to support the show. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate those of you who donated in the TikTok chat as well. Thank you to Bree Crazy. Yeah, for the 200 coins as well, and Reese as well for the coins. Thank you so much, guys. All right, chat. I'm here tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. I will see you then, where we'll talk about love, life, and relationships. Until then, goodbye for now. Arrivederci, sayonara, hasta la vista, adios, ciao, salam, bon voyage. And I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. All right. Won't be long, chat. Won't be